Welcome back to Two Black Runners, and this week I'm just going to give you a clip of our newest podcast. And so you can go ahead and check out the full podcast anywhere where you stream podcasts on audio. That's from Apple Music, Spotify, Anchor, anything like that. But I just wanted to give you the real meat and potatoes of this podcast. Just go ahead, watch this episode, and I just wanted you to sit back and really gain an understanding of where we're coming from. And that's the only thing you can gain from this. That's the best thing that you can gain from this episode, and it's just a true just understanding of where we really just feel, to be honest. Then afterwards you're watching, or even before you're watching, we have a link down below for there's more that you could just do if you want to help this cause. I really do hope that you guys look at that link, go through it, check it out, the things that you can donate to, check out where you can sign petitions, check out everything, and just see where you can really educate yourself more onto this issue and how things are trying to get done. And with that being said, bro, let's just get right into it. Hope you guys really enjoy it. You're able to connect more to this podcast, Two Black Runners. Be able to connect more to the Running Report. And this is the stuff that it's hard for us to do, but it's that stuff that we love to do. Because like we said, we're part of the Running Report, where we're produced for and by the culture. And we're being a running news outlet that gives you just that. And go ahead, let's take it away, and hope you guys enjoy it. One thing is that what we saw this past weekend was one thing that we wanted to really see when Ahmaud Arbery came out. If you listen to that podcast, Aaron came up and he said to me, he was like, "Who's the first person that you seen about Ahmaud Arbery? Who's the first person you spoke about it?" First person I saw was LeBron James, and it's really disheartening at first to really think about that, because there wasn't, at the first like 3 days of Ahmaud Arbery really blowing up, there weren't a lot of track and field
Yeah,
athletes really coming out and speaking on that term. But over this past weekend, we've seen a lot speak up and really talk about their experience of being black as a track and field athlete in America, from ranging to Raven Rogers, to Daryl Hill, Jasmine Todd, Sonia Richards Ross. And it's really just been incredible. Like, especially Jasmine Todd, she talked about being a black track and field athlete in America, and just how the fact how people are telling her to shut up, to being, you're an entertainer. You're not supposed to talk about the injustices, and then going out there and representing a country that has had systemic racism for 400 years, and just how hard that can be.
and
So
think
what do you
about
just
this,
have to say on
bro.
that?
I just thought about this right now. What's crazy about track and field in the United States? I mean, if you guys think about this, every major sport, besides like football, like they have like a USA team. Like there's
Yeah.
basketball, USA basketball. You know, there is like USA like soccer and tennis, and there's those operating organizations. But
Mm-hmm.
outside of USA basketball, there's the NBA, and that's how they market all their athletes. That's how they get big. Now, track and field, we don't have that outside source that causes some problems. But I'm thinking about that. Maybe that's why people are slower to come to it, because you're not working for the NBA or nothing. Like a lot of your
Jordan
stuff is
Bird.
just associated with USATF.
Yes.
And these athletes, a lot of them came out and they said, they feel kind of weird. Like Noah Lyles even talked about it as well, saying like he's kind of
They're
scared of
scared to
stuff, but
lose stuff.
they're scared to lose stuff, bro. And that's wrong, bro. That's
Yeah.
wrong. And because USA track and field, we have been one of the first people to stand up for injustice at the Olympics. John Carlos, if y'all ever seen the on the podium after the 200, head down, Black Power, fist up in like the 60s, bro, in the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, that's one of the most powerful civil rights images ever. Almost every black person has had that hung up in their room in college, especially if you're a track athlete, for sure. One of the most
Yeah.
powerful images ever. So to hear that track athletes are afraid or intimidated about what's going to happen to them when they speak up, when we got other athletes like LeBron just going out there and just doing whatever, like that's ridiculous, bro. And I think it's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, it was really reassuring, definitely this time around, to see all of these track athletes come up and speak up. And I definitely encourage, like, thank you to all of you guys for using your platform, because it really just shows like how big this really is, and how the way that people have not stopped talking about this for the past week just shows like how shocking of a system this is to our country, and how serious this issue is, and that there needs to be change, right?
And what I'm trying to say too, by what I just going back to referring back to what I'm saying, is like what I'm trying to say is like it's ridiculous because since we have that history of standing up was for right, and everyone looks back at that moment now as such an iconic thing, when things like injustice like this happen, like we should be empowering our athletes. Flow track should be empowering our athletes, like pushing them up. Runner space should be empowering them. Mile split, empower them, push them up, put them on. We should be empowering them, you know? And I
Yeah.
don't know, I didn't really see that as very swiftly from our running media outlets, but I mean, I think we should be seeing that a lot more.
Yeah, the one thing that we posted on our Instagram, what was that on Saturday? Just like Raven Rogers, Jasmine Todd, and Daryl Hill, on just talking about when they talked about their experience, their black perspective. Daryl Hill talked about being a 300 plus man. He's a shot putter, and just knowing how intimidating that can be and how scared other people can be of him when he goes out and walks. Raven Rogers talked about an incident when the police had a mistake. It was almost a mistake like Breonna Taylor, where they had a gun at Raven Rogers' head. This is the silver medalist at the World Championships in 800. And Jasmine Todd, like we already spoke before, on just like her experience. It's it is disappointing at some point to just see like not other running media, like sports media, running media outlets, and not like speak on this like right away. Because like you have like overtime, you have like ESPN, you got Bleacher Report. They at least make like little posts on this, and I know they will eventually. But it really, to see like how many mentions that post got that we posted of like those three athletes, I think it was like our most mentions like ever for one post. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
that means more than seeing a post about Caitlin Tui go off. Because that lets me know that like there's more people in this world, there's more people on Instagram that's really seeing the good and like the intelligence of like this issue and seeing the root of where this really is by looking at that post, bro.
Yeah, and I do also think that social media plays a big part onto what's going on right now because I feel
Yeah, I think
like
so too.
my generation for sure, your generation as well, a little bit younger, but we grew up with like social media as it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and
Yeah.
like not that these events weren't happening before, but they were happening before, but not getting caught on camera. And as social media is growing, you know, it's going to amplify these events too. Like when people like the Black Lives Matter movement was like kind of found through back in for that Ferguson through those tweets and like getting rallying people together. That's kind of how it was found. So maybe we're just like we're starting like Black Lives Matter and the movement in general. We're starting to figure out like how to really like bring people together, and especially like I mean like at the protest I went to, like a lot of people from a lot of different races that want to help. So I think more voices are just being heard.
And I think, especially, let's talk about this real quick. It's just like, how can there be like a change? How can we get this change to happen? And I think that really change is gonna happen. Like, yes, go out and do more stuff. Like, go out and protest. Go out, donate. Go out and like and sign petitions for to get these other men arrested. But I really think that social media is going to be one of the key factors to like getting to this next level. So like post something. You can at least post something on your story and just to
Mm,
let people know that like you're not that you're just down with it, but let people know that you understand. Because honestly,
yeah.
I don't really know if everyone understands. So
No.
let me hear you understand, and it's reassuring, it's reaffirming that you do know understand. And this is one thing that I just learned. I've taken this journalism class like in ethics, and there's one thing we talked about is confirmation bias. And there's things the social media has created this confirmation bias and this filter bubbles on our networks. So like everything that we dislike, like our location, is everything. That's the things that we see. That's the things that we see all different times. So if I'm a runner, I'm going to constantly see things about diet and stuff like that. If I'm somebody that loves to eat food and like junk food, I'm not going to see things about a great diet. I'm going to see things about McDonald's, Wendy's, and stuff like that. But if we're all posting out stuff about anti-racism, if we're all posting stuff about rest in peace George Floyd, like is that such a bad confirmation bias for us all to believe that? So go ahead, like post that. Let's start a conversation and let's get uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
For real though. For real though. That's
Like
definitely
social
getting
media,
uncomfortable.
like bro, like go ahead. Like people are, I see people like they're like posting is not enough. But like if you feel like you can't go out there and protest, at least post, bro. And it doesn't matter if you say the wrong thing, cause like at least you gotta try. You gotta try, and we'll correct you. We'll get on
Hey,
you
and I'll tell
if
you
you're
this.
wrong.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. Trump posting.
That's true.
Trump stay posting.
That man, I'm not gonna. He definitely ain't right all the time. He definitely is not right all the
He
time.
stay
And
posting. So I
yes,
mean, so what we doing? We just gonna watch? We gonna do something?
and
But
I think another way, and Aaron could definitely speak on this, bro. Like another way that if you want to educate yourself, if you want to start, if you're a non-black person and you want to feel the black experience, like go ahead, go on like a Netflix binge, go on a Hulu
yeah,
binge, on
for
go ahead and
sure.
watch some stuff. One thing I think everyone should watch is When They See Us. That's probably one of the hardest modern day TV shows that you can watch right now. In the first 15 minutes, you're gonna want to click off of it, but that's things that going through my mind right now, and I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, bro. Another good one is the 13th. LA 92. Those are both good ones. The 13th talks about the 13th Amendment and just kind of how policing and the prison system started in America. And LA 92 touches on the Rodney King riots in 92 and also the riots in Watts in I believe like 50s. But another thing I think people can do, because definitely donating, posting, it's good and all that. But I always think it comes down to like perspective. So I know a lot of y'all got at least one black friend. You got that one black friend and you don't know what to say to him. You know, you don't know what to say to him. Why don't you just like have a conversation, just be like, yo, man, like, how are you doing with all this? Like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to learn more and just be real because I'm sure they're gonna tell you how they feel, but I always felt that the best thing that I can do as a black person to help someone that's not black understand is kind of like just live my life because they may only have like one experience with a black person or zero or they just learn everything from TV and then they get these they get these assumptions, which is easy to do in the world we live in because it's
yeah,
you know,
most
you know how they
definitely.
you know how they do us. You know how they
Yeah,
do us. So I always feel like that's good. But you gotta educate yourself, whether that's through like docs, books, and not just educate yourself, you have to unlearn. That's the
hmm
hardest part. You have to unlearn because like I was telling Joshua this the other day, like the black experience is so different because um think about it like this. Some people grow up and they're taught, the 1920s was like the roaring 20s. It was so nice. Everyone was out dancing, having
Great
fun.
Gatsby.
And you probably learned that what, like fourth grade? Bro, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you this from a black person's perspective. By the fourth grade, I already knew my family, my ancestors were slaves. I already knew that there was
yes,
Jim Crow
sir.
laws. I already knew who Malcolm X was. So for me, when I went to school and they were like, yeah, in the 1920s, like this was happening, I just thought about, okay, so like in this scenario, I probably would have not been able to go there. I could have been lynched. So like our perspective is so different from y'all because they y'all if you don't educate yourself or look into anything else besides like the history book and the nice like padded like MLK version, y'all happy. I mean, that's all you're gonna think, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
what? Like, why are people so angry? But if you really like educate yourself and see, like, bro, like this stuff crazy, bro. It's crazy, like,
it is.
and I don't want to ramble too much, but what I'm touching on too is we see that as a kid, we already know that by the fourth grade, we know about slavery and Jim Crow laws and all that. But we're just taught, like, hey, this bad stuff happened by these people, but love one another and everything. And that's what you do. You're like, cool, like love everyone and and stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of families out there that don't even have that conversations. It's left in the school. It's left in the
hmm
school. Like we take it home and we learn more from our family. But I feel like for a lot of non-black people,
They're not
those
even
talks
addressing it.
they're not addressed, and that's the biggest issue. So like
That's
for our
taboo.
generation, that's weird to me. That's not addressed. So I mean, that's one of the biggest things our generation could do coming up is like You got to educate yourself, unlearn, teach the next generation. Don't leave it to just the school book saying, hey, slavery happened from this time to this time and then it was all good. Like, no, bruh. You got to like really like educate them and let them know why it is how it is. Like, don't
So
just come on,
that's
man.
why go out there, continue posting about this. Continue, go out, watch Just Mercy, a new movie that just came out. Go back and watch The Great Debaters. Go watch Glory Road. Go watch,
Sheesh. Come
go
on.
watch stuff like that, bro.
Hey, these all
Go watch
fire
Roots.
movies right here. These all
That's what I'm
fire
saying.
movies.
Watch
These
When They
all
See
fire
Us.
movies.
Like, go ahead, like, watch that type of stuff. Watch that stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable. Watch The Help.
Medea's Family
Like,
Reunion.
bro, for real, watch that.
Real,
You will
bruh.
learn. You'll learn little one or two or things about that. Like
Definitely,
you
bro.
wanna feel the Black experience, bro. Because like if we just you gotta keep the conversation going. And I really think that we can be the generation that can change that. Because yes, like protesting is gonna keep on happening. Protesting is gonna happen, but it's gonna be in a week from now. Like protesting may be done. Like it may be done. Like we eventually we're gonna have to go back to work and stuff like that. And hopefully, eventually, protesting people able to live back to their normal lives a little bit. But hopefully, we don't forget this moment, and that's what can't happen. We have to make this moment almost a monument, bro. Like to remember back on, and just be all like, we have to keep on talking about this to like the next people coming up. And when somebody's out acting outright, we have to take them back to this monument to be all like, bro, you see what we built right here in this moment? We don't want
Exactly.
that to happen again. So change how you talking, change how you feeling,
Preach.
change how you interact, bro. Because like we don't want to go back to that monument. Leave that in the past.
No.
Leave that there, and
We don't want people.
let's change
No.
it. Let's change it with conversation. Let's change it with talk because that's what's gonna happen 50 years from now. It's gonna have to be how we change the next generation, bro.
Dude, honestly, you just hit everything right on the head, bro. Like, definitely, we do not, like we said, bro. We don't want to see. I don't want to see another riot, bro. I don't want to be. I don't want to be protesting when
Oh,
I'm 50. I don't want to be
um,
protesting when I'm 50, bro. Like, I'm done with it, bro. I'm done with it. I don't want to be doing it, bro. Like when I talk to dad about it too, he's just like, he's just like, bro, I'm tired.
yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'm 25 and I'm tired, bro.
I'm 20 and I'm tired.
How you think Paw feel, bro? This weekend, Paw 80 years old, grandfather
Bro,
80 years old. He told me when he was 13, Emmett Till got killed, and that popped off the civil rights movement.
that's
You think there were
crazy,
riots
bro.
back then? Come on, bro. And we still going.
Emmett Till, bro.
He's 80 seeing this happen, bro. Come on, bro.
Emmett Till. That's like the fact that our grandpa lived through Emmett Till and now George Floyd, mind blowing.
We gotta
That's
stop. We
mind
gotta
blowing.
stop this, bro. That ain't gonna be us. I don't want that. I don't want that for us, but I don't want that for him. He'd be
Yes.
sad, bro, if I was 80 years old and I was still watching somebody get killed on camera. And I don't want that. We ain't gonna let that happen.
I think on that note, I really got nothing else. You got anything else? I don't really ain't got nothing else.
All I gotta say is stay safe, y'all. If y'all gonna go protest, stay safe. Wear a mask. Be as peaceful as possible. Protect each other, man. And yeah, we always gonna be here. We are for the culture. This is a running media outlet produced by the culture and for the culture. And if you're not with it, you don't gotta be with it if you don't want to be with it. But you should be with it.
Yeah. Only thing I gotta say before we go out, make sure if you're really trying to don't be silent, bro. Don't be silent. If you're really trying to say that I'm not with that, I'm anti-racist, bro. Don't be silent because silence being complicit. And what's the point of being silent? You're not really changing anything. Also, I'm gonna link some things down in the audio version and in the YouTube version where you can actually go and donate, or you can sign a petition, or we can get these other men arrested, the three other men that were involved in this arrested, and then everything like that. Just links on things that you guys can go ahead and just like educate yourself as well. I think it would be really great if you guys shared this podcast. If you're gonna share any of the things that we support, any of the things that we created, I would love for you to share this one because this truly is just two Black runners speaking on their perspective and their Black perspective and how they responded to George Floyd's death and the 400 years of systemic racism. And thanks y'all for joining us on this another Two Black Tuesday, bro. Thank you for coming on, Aaron. Appreciate it.